So we're a little early. We normally start this at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm in Arizona here. You guys, East Coast, it's already 7 p.m. So hopefully you've had dinner, you're digested, and you're ready to work on your core. I'm going to wait about 4 minutes or so because we're really scheduled here at 4 o'clock. So it's about a few minutes before. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what I do so you can know a little bit about me. I am a certified personal trainer. I'm a yoga therapist, a Pilates practitioner, and a health coach. So that's a lot of things wrapped up into one. But I've been in this business for 23 years. And my primary purpose is to work with people just like you that are looking to live a little bit healthier, be a little bit stronger, feel a little safer with life going on. Yes, I see that someone's here. Hello, Florida. Hopefully your weather's warmer than ours. It actually rained here in Arizona for a nanosecond. Anyhow, so I hope you've been enjoying these videos that we've been doing. I'm really grateful that I'm able to help you with this. You know, most of the work that I'm doing is on the Lifepro platforms is more of a therapeutic approach to getting stronger. Today, we're going to work on your core. And before I talk about that, let's talk about what props you need. You probably got an email out that suggested several props. And I'd like to put the whole laundry list of props out there because you really never know what you're going to use depending on what we're doing. So be prepared. That's a little Girl Scout thing here. Okay. Yoga blocks. It's a huge tool in our training. And if you don't have them yet, I really want to encourage you that you buy them. They're really a game changer because they offer a lot of support and stability. But if not, good old toilet paper rolls. And you can see mine are kind of smashed because I have used them. But, you know, if you don't have the yoga blocks, that's fine. You might even use books. I also want to encourage you to have a blanket today. If you've got issues in your tissues, and who doesn't, that's why we use these devices. I'm dealing with some knee stuff right now, and being on my knees is really tough. So when you are on the knees, you put the blankets on your shins and your kneecaps are exposed. That way they never press down into the ground. And it relieves, there's no pressure on your patella, your kneecaps. So that's really what we're going to really need today, the blocks and blankets. And today I brought my mini waiver. I have the Lifepro Rumblex 4D, which I absolutely love, but I've been doing a lot of classes on that. But today I want to do the mini waiver because most of us, tend to decide, what are we going to do, what setting, but I love just the oscillation. It's a great place to start with all the work that we do. You can add lateral, pulsation, all the things that you have any of the other units that might give you that benefit. But let's talk oscillation up and down. And during this whole session, I'm going to go at a very low speed because it's all about first feeling the work, not trying to amp it up. A couple more things. I'm going to just talk a little bit more and then we'll get going. A couple pointers. The recommendation is if you're new, start at about 10 minutes, right? So you don't need to be on here for 30 minutes. And this live stream is going to go probably 30 minutes, maybe more, maybe less. It depends how much I'm going to be talking. But know that today in our core workout, we're going to be going through 4 segments. So that means you can watch one segment, see how that works for your body. Watch another segment, see how that works. And then the third and the fourth. So you can do one, you can mix and match, or maybe at a point in time, you may do all of them. Okay, so that's the main thing is just take it by segments at first. We all come here to the platform at a different level with different issues in the tissue. So let's see where we're at, start there. A couple more things. Speed, again, light and low, but if you're feeling any discomfort, any pain, just back off on the particular posture I'm showing you. And specifically, I'd like to make sure that you watch this video at least one time if you're watching it recorded. If you're with me live, just watch and maybe come along. But I don't want you to be lifting your head and picking your head up. And I'll say that during the video, but it's really important that we keep our spine in line. So are you ready to begin? I am. Okay, let's talk about your core. What is your core? It is not just the six-pack abs that we all have underneath some extra stuff. I call that stored fuel, the fat cells. Okay, we all have a core that if you cut off your arms, you cut off your hips, your thighs, and you cut off your head, that is your core. Think of it as your trunk. Okay, so that's really important that we have a strong core. It's not about just the six-pack abs. The front of the core, the side of the core, the back of the core. We want a strong core for power, for strength and stabilization. So what better way than on one of these devices from Lifepro, one of the vibration plates, we can find that. And it isn't that difficult to find. The fact is we just practice. And remember, yoga is a practice. It's a practice, not a perfection. So today, I'm going to start you off. I'm going to ask you all to go onto your platform. I'm going to tie my hair back so you can see me and I can see you. We're going to go set the platform, and I'm going to go, because this is the mini waiver, I'm going to go into it on a manual. I'm going to set it for 15 minutes, and my level is going to be 1 to start. I'd like you to take your blanket or your beach towel, whatever you have, and we're actually going to sit on there. And as in every yoga practice, we want to find our center. So we're talking about our core. Think about your spine as the center of your trunk, right? And we want to feel the vibration from the hips all the way to the top of the head. So place your hands on your knees. You can place your hands on your belly. You can place your hands on your heart. Okay, we're back. I'm not sure what's going on. I've got a great signal going, so bear with us. Okay, let's start. Pulling the belly in and up. Okay, we've talked about cat-cow. I'd like you to do this no matter what you're doing on your platform, and arch. Tuck and arch. We've got one more. Tuck and arch. Now, you're going to come off your platform. You're going to take your blocks, have them handy, and take your blankets, and you're going to learn what I call what a cigar roll is. You're going to take your blankets, and I'm actually literally going to roll this blanket just a few times. I'm making this nice little cigar roll, I'm calling it. Okay, it's just rolled up. And you're going to put the blankets on your platform. The cigar roll is right here. The cigar roll is where I'm going to be placing my lower back. So bring your feet on the platform and then roll back. Now you want to make sure that this cigar roll is the right space, the right size for your lower back. If it's too much, you're going to feel just a very uncomfortable feeling. If it's not enough, you won't feel the natural arch. So that's going to be pretty important that that's really comfortable for you first. Grab your blocks and keep them handy. We're going to press the belly button into the cigar roll to tilt the pelvis. Now, as I had mentioned before, it's very important you don't turn your head while you're rolling your spine. Your eyes are up. You're pressing your feet into the platform just lightly and roll up and roll down. Now you can increase the intensity of the inner thigh connection with a block between your knees. Make sure that cigar roll feels comfortable. So we're going to press down and lift up and down. Now I'm still on the blanket. I'm not lifting up using my glutes yet. This time we're going to roll up and now press into the platform, and we're coming into bridge. Bridge pose is one of the most well-used poses, the go-to poses for your core. We're engaging glutes, shoulders are flat. By squeezing this block, you've got your pelvic floor is engaged. Take a deep breath in, and now find that cigar roll as you roll down and drop your hips. Take one more big breath in. The belly button presses down. You're tilting the pelvis, so you're feeling right here The language of your core is feeling. I want you to feel from hip bone to hip bone. The abdominals are engaged. Now, the glutes should be relaxed right now. Once you press into your feet, you engage the glutes and lift up. You're going to take your yoga blanket or your cigar roll and move it to the side. Now, you'll roll down sequentially, bone by bone, so that eventually your hip bones come forward. And then you have the mouse house, okay? That's not a yoga term at all. It's not even a fitness term. Let's do that 2 more times. Press into what is now the ghosting of the blankets. Tilt the pelvis, glutes are relaxed. Now engage the glutes and lift up, squeezing that yoga block. Inhale here, and then roll down, bone by bone. Now I'm going to add on to this. Take a deep breath in, find your arch, your natural curve, flatten it, and roll up and lift. Now that you're lifted, you're going to take your yoga block, your second one, or your toilet paper roll, and rest your hips. Remove the block between your legs, and now we're going to be in a supported bridge. From here, lift the hips up. Lift one leg up to tabletop. Tabletop is not where the foot is kicked up, but literally where you can have a flat surface using the right glute. Place that foot down, press into the foot, and lift up the other leg. And place it down. Anytime you get fatigued, you have that block to rest on to engage into the lower belly. Press up, lift, lower, lift, and lower. We'll do this 2 more times. Breathe out. Breathe in. Feel the lift of the hips. Breathe out. Breathe in. 1 more. Thigh bone lifting to the sky. Platform leg is really pushing down. And switch. Hands are flat. And down. Now remove this block that's underneath you and roll your spine down. Hug your knees to your chest to take a little break. Massage the lower back, because if you're not used to this feeling, it could be quite intense in the lower back. Now I'd like to add on to this, so follow me. We're going to build onto this. From our tilts and our rolls, we're going to go and do a little more work on core stabilization. Because remember, power, strength, and stabilization are the name of the game. Flat, get that tilt, roll up, lift up. You can always put that block underneath you just as a little safety net. You bring your right leg up. Now look at your knee, and it's going to sway side to side. It's not going to go very far. You're crossing your center line and out. I'm crossing over my midline and out. The supporting leg is really working like crazy. My obliques are working like crazy to stabilize. Place that foot down. Make sure you're lifted. Pick up the left foot, hands on the ground, and it's almost like your leg is a windshield wiper, side to side, out and in. Pressing down on the platform to use that instability to your benefit. Place that foot down, remove the block underneath you, and roll down. Let's add on to this 1 more time. Breathe in. Exhale, roll up. Lift up your right leg. Now we did down and up and side to side. Now we're going to make a circle. Think about your knee like a pencil point, making a circle in the ceiling. So if you were to bring your thigh toward your chest, that's 12 o'clock. To the left is 3 o'clock. Away is 6 and 9 and 12. Now, if your hamstrings are happy about straightening out, let's reverse that circle. And you do about 3 circles from 12 to 9 to 6 to 3. That left glute is probably getting really fatigued now, so place your right foot down, stay lifted, and bring your left knee up. So again, circle here. We're going to bring the knee toward your torso, out to the side, away from you, and around for 3 and 2. Imagine that circle on the ceiling, and 1. Now reverse it. Again, I'm going to straighten my leg out. Those of you that care to join me, just straighten the leg and circle. Now press into the platform leg for 3 and 2 and 1. Bend the knee, place the foot down, Roll your spine down. Bring your feet together, knees apart, and relax. Sigh it out. Just take a few breaths here and allow the hips to relax. Bring the knees in, hug them to your chest, and roll to the side. So that little segment was helpful to get those glutes to fire up and the obliques to fire up. Now, next segment of our core training, we're going to be going into standing. Now, I might get cut off. I know some of you asked if you could see me closer, so I'm changing camera. So I might get cut off when I stand up, but you're going to stand up. Okay? Slide your hands down your knees and find the platform. We talked about cutting off our hands to working our stabilizers, our core here, okay? So our arms are actually going to help us here by pressing down and moving that energy up into the core stabilizers of your shoulders. Tuck your chin, round your spine, bend your knees. Let your lower back stretch out. Now on the inhale, you're going to come to a flat back. Straighten your legs up. It's very important. Your hands are spread wide. Your index fingers are pointing forward, and you can feel the weight on your fingertips. Round your spine, and then arch it. So this is just getting our shoulders ready for what's to come. Exhale, round. Inhale and arch. Now, if you are like many of my clients that always tell me it's really too hard on their wrists, here's where your blanket comes in. You're going to take it, and I'm just going to have half of the blanket on the platform. Now, my wrists are going to be on the blanket. My finger pads are going to be on the platform. This is super important, okay? So you're going to feel all 10 finger pads. Now, feel how the difference, it's not much in your wrists, right? We're going to add on from here. Shoulders are over the wrists. You're going to take a step back, bring it forward, and step back. We'll be doing a whole class on planks, but we're going to talk about just finding your plank here today. Step back and step back. Remember, the weight's in the finger pads. You take a big step back. The whole time I want your shoulders not to come back, okay? The shoulders stay over your fingertips. Just step the leg back. Pause for a moment here. See how that works for you. Bring the other foot forward and step back. And then you can take a moment to take a break, and I'm going to add on to this. Grab your 2 blocks. Now, they'll be right under your shins. So position them that you're not on your knees, but your hands are directly under your shoulders, and your knees are under your hips. Now you're going to step back, and here's a different kind of plank. A little more intense weight bearing. And then the other leg goes back. Okay, again, this should not bother your knees. Press into your finger pads and hover. This is known as bear pose. You can lower down. You're lifting from your center. You're pushing the energy from your fingertips into the platform. Take a breath and come down. We're going to do this one more time. My platform came shut off, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back on. I'm going to go into 15 minutes. And now I'm going to amp it up a little bit. I'm going to go into level 3 because I'm pretty warmed up. Pressing down, I'm lifting up my spine. From here, take a step back, bring the knee in. Take a step back, bring the knee in. You can always rest your knee on the block, or you can hover it. Switch sides. Hover, take the leg back, bring it in. Take the leg back, bring it in. One more time, bring it in and relax. Shift your hips back. Light on your fingertips for a moment. Come forward, hover now. Downward facing dog, our first time, guys, downward dog here. Notice my knees are bent. There's very little weight in my wrists. I'm on my finger pads. The more you can feel that connection, your shoulders will be a lot happier in downward dog. Come back. Now, for those of you that like to remove the blanket and just test the water here, same principle. Hands here, shoulders over the knuckles. We're going to lift up in our bear pose. We're going to shift back and lift the tailbone to the sky in downward dog. Take a deep breath in, bend the knees, hover to bear pose, and come down. It's a nice little flow. Lift, shift, press back, come back in, shoulders over the fingers, and down. Let's do it one more time. Hover, shift, lengthen your spine, bend your knees in, and come down. And shake out your wrists. So in order to do that posture, remember, you want to be light on your wrists. You're working on stabilization of the shoulders. Super important for a strong core. Now, we're going to flip it around a bit. We're going to get off our wrists, and we're going to go into our next segment. So we did our first segment of bridges, okay? Second segment of our cat-cows and planks to downward dog. The third segment is our boat pose. And this one is always a challenge. And by the way, I'm going to recommend, if you have osteoporosis, I will give you options on this one because this is super important that you're safe on your spine. Take your blanket, place it over your platform. You want a nice soft platform base. Now, in boat pose, we start with what is known as a posterior tilt. And you practice this by your tilts and your cat-cows. Simply bring your navel back behind your tailbone. Take your yoga block or a toilet paper roll, put it up between the thigh bones, and press your heels out. This is a nice hamstring stretch while you're letting the vibration do its magic. Take your hands behind your head. So we're going to do a little posterior tilt. You can see how my hip bones roll toward my ribs, and then I'm going to lean back and I'm going to look up. Now, again, those of you that deal with osteoporosis, this is a pretty safe and effective way to work those core muscles of your back and of your abdominals supporting your spine. The head is held back. Take a breath in, exhale, relax the shoulders, and inhale and sit up. Let's do 2 more of those because I kind of like 3s. It takes about 3 to get it right. So we have a posterior tilt, hands go behind the head, and you're going to lift up the heart, let the eyes gaze out. Flex your feet, squeeze that block, your pelvic floor is engaged. You're going to take another breath in, and then exhale, bring it back. One more time. Tilt, hands go behind the head. You're going to lengthen out, lean back. It's kind of like you're in a lounge chair, okay? So you've got the abdominal bracing, the lower back, the spine braced by the muscles of your back, and you're supporting your head, and then come back. So that's quite a bit of inner thigh work. Bring your feet together and come in Baddha Konasana to relax. Now, again, those with osteoporosis, stick to that for a long time until you feel the strength in both front and back body to support your spine. Now, the rest of you can join me along on the next part. Keep your blocks handy. We're going to put our hands underneath our thighs and get the tilt. Shoulders are down, elbows are bent, and lift one leg up. You can always release it. And now, many people will feel in the hip flexor. I want you to feel it right above the hip bone to the rib connection. Place that foot down. Lift the other leg up. You can hold it and then let it go. Place it down. Option 2, you're going to lift that leg up, hold it, take your yoga blocks and press down on the yoga blocks and lift your chest. Place it down. Inhale, I've got that posterior tilt. Exhale, bring the knee up. Press down the blocks to get that lift. Place it down. Ready to join me a little bit deeper? Take an inhale. Exhale, belly button presses in. One leg up, other leg up. Here we go. Now we're getting really close to the end of our pose here. Legs are at tabletop. You're going to feel hip flexors. You're going to feel groin muscles. Just hang out with me for one breath. Sigh it out or blow it out. Bring one foot down, then the other. Then open up the knees. Over time, you will build the strength in these lower belly muscles. These are probably one of the weaker areas for most of us. So we want to find not the hip flexors working, and they are. We want lower belly, deep abdominals. So let's go on a little further here. Okay, I've got my blocks. I'm pressing down. I'm tilting, one leg up. And remember, you can always hold on, other leg up. Grab underneath your calves. Now we're talking stability. Shoulders are down, chest lifted, eyes gazing up, toes may be pointing up. Hang out here for a few breaths. Feel those lower abdominals challenge your balance. You're on the back of your sitting bones. And I'm only on level 3 here, by the way. Take another breath in. Bring one foot down, then the other, and then open up. All right. Legs will go straight again. We're going to release those hip flexors a bit. Put the block between your legs. This will keep you nice and stable. You're very upright. We'll work our obliques. Take your other block. And I'm pressing the block between my hands right at my chest, fingertips up. We'll do our little posterior tilt and lift the chest up into the block and rotate to the right. Come back to center. The block doesn't move at all. It's your shoulders. Rotate to the left, back to center, and sit up tall. Draw the ribs back. Lift your chest into the block. Rotate to the right. Rotate to the left. Come back to center and lift. And last time. We're going to posterior tilt. I'm going to change directions now. Okay, lift the chest. Rotate to the left first. Hold it for a moment. Keep getting length. You want to decompress the spine, so get length. Tall breath. Rotate to the right. Tall breath. Lift your chest up. A lot of obliques working here. Come back to center, lift up, and release. Let your knees fall apart, feet together. We'll add one more oblique work out to this sequence. Bring the feet forward. Take your block. Arms forward. So we're in our lengthened position. The spine is long, ears, shoulders, hips. Flex your feet. Even if your hamstrings are tight, this should be fine with the platform because you're raised up. Now you're going to posterior tilt and look back at your thumb. Stretch back. Take a deep breath in and exhale like you're pushing water. Reach forward. Tuck. Follow the thumb as you reach it back. Take an inhale here and exhale, sweep it forward. This is a very rhythmic move. Tuck and stretch. Bring it back and lengthen. Pull the ribs back. Feel those ribs pull back. Shoulders are down. You're going to reach back, open up. One arm is forward, right in line with your toes. Squeeze that block, inner thighs connect. Last time here, guys. Roll it back. Stretch it back. Maybe go a little further. Take it forward, lift, and last one. Roll and rotate. De-rotate with your breath and come back. Awesome. So you won't need a block now. We're going to work our back body again. We practiced this in one of our previous sessions, Pursvo Konasana to Dandasana. Now, Dandasana is simply called staff pose, what we were just doing here. We had our feet flexed out and we're pressing down, and we want to feel we're pushing shoulders down and heart lifts up. And here goes, we're back to the shoulders now, a lot of instability happening. So I want you to feel that. Now, you're going to bend your knees. You can add a block. I always love this block. This is really helpful for these particular exercises. You're going to shift off and lift your hips. So like bridge pose, we've got glute engagement. You want to really lift and then bring the butt down, straighten the legs, reach up, take your hands behind the head. Here's that long spine and hinge forward, stretching hamstrings and lower back. Lengthen up, bring the hands down to your Dandasana pose, staff pose. You're going to bend your knees and walk them in. Roll the shoulders back, push down to lift the hips, and reach the knees over the toes. You can walk out a little bit. Tuck the chin in. If this is too much on your neck, look toward your block. Otherwise, look to the sky. Lift up the heart. Take one more breath in And on the exhale, pull the ribs back and sit back down and straighten your legs. Arms reach up, takes pressure off the hands. Hands go behind the head. Take a nice big breath in and hinge forward. Big stretch in those hamstrings. Come on back. Now, I'm going to add on to this one. So options, you stay here, you bend the knees, you get a little lift. Option 2, you get more lift and you push out. Option 3, you walk it out more. Option 4, you straighten your legs out and you point the toes. So this is the full reverse plank pose. Definitely not a beginner move. So I want you to know that you practice and go make it a process of bringing things in for you that work. Now I'm going to remove the block and we'll do it one more time. I said 3, but I'm going to give you one more. Straighten your legs out. Point your toes. You got tight ankles. This is going to be challenging. And let me tell you, I have had tight ankles from teaching a lot of spin class, so they're getting better over time. Point the toes, pull the shoulders down, walk your feet out, and lift. Look down toward your toes, look toward the sky, and lift up. This is your last one. Take a big breath in. Press into it. Use your glutes. Use the back of your body. Strong back muscles. And now walk yourself in. Take a big reach up. Hands go behind your head. Tuck your chin to your chest. Exhale your air. Inhale. Open up. And now hinge from the hips. When you can't go any farther, bring your hands down. Find your blocks or your toilet paper rolls and press down and find that long spine. So I'm not rounded here. I'm lengthening away. Big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. Get a little further into it and then press back up. Again, not rounding the spine. Again, another great stretch for hamstrings and strengthener for deep lower belly. Press down, bend the elbows. Watch that chin doesn't want to pop. It likes to try to get to the toes. Bend the elbows. And when you can't go any further, you can crawl your fingertip now, release your spine, tuck your chin, stretch your arms out. Slide your hands back, take a deep breath in, and roll your shoulders back. So that was our third set. We practiced boat pose, Navasana, actually our fourth set, I apologize. We did some oblique work. We did reverse table, Purvokhanasana, and Tadandasana. So I'm hoping all you Lifepro family peeps, friends and family that are just new into our platforms or have been using them for a while, that you find some things that are helpful for you. The truth is, it's, again, a practice. I've been doing this for several years, and there's days that can be very challenging. So I want to encourage you to remember the language of your core is feeling. You want to feel strong. You want to feel your stabilization. And then you want to feel that you can really connect with your breath. I want to thank you so much today for joining me. Come into a seated position that feels comfortable for you. Join your hands together at your heart. This is the place that heals all of our issues and our tissues. Our heart space heals situations we deal with emotionally and mentally, as well as physically. Take a nice slow breath in through the nose. Breathe in love, breathe in light, breathe in joy, whatever you'd like more of in your life. And exhale that all out, spreading that to everyone you meet. Have a beautiful and blessed evening. Namaste. Any questions, please leave them in the chat. It's my pleasure to help you out today. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Oh, perfect. My platform just ended. Look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to be working a little bit more into our restorative practice. So I think you're going to really enjoy that as well. Bye for now.